Before you begin, find a couple of objects, small enough to hold in your hand comfortably, but with some interesting features. Natural objects like shells or stones are great, but really anything at all will do, even household objects. The reason we're starting our exploration of touch with an object is that it keeps it simple. An object isn't going to have a reaction to how you touch it, or bring up complex emotions the way touching a person can do. You can't try to please an object. All that's involved is the object and the sensation you get from touching it. Find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed for 10 or 20 minutes. Turn off phones or any other devices which might distract you. This is an opportunity to take time and space for you and nothing else. Seat yourself so that you can lean back with your back supported and keep your hands supported in your lap. It can help to place a cushion under your hands on your lap. Sitting in this supported, relaxed position is important because it helps switch the body from being on alert in fight or flight mode and engages the parts of the nervous system which allow for rest and digest and a feeling of safety. Pick up one of the objects and hold it lightly in your lap. Close your eyes so that you can really focus on what you're feeling without distraction from what's around you. Take a few deep breaths, letting the air fall out with a sigh on the exhale. Hold the object in one of your hands. This will be your guiding hand. And then bring it to meet your other hand. This will be your feeling hand. Begin to move the object very slowly over your feeling hand. Even if you think you're moving it slowly enough, try slowing it down even more. Notice how it feels. What are the sensations you experience from the movement of the object against your skin? Become aware of which sensations feel pleasant and which ones less so. Allow yourself to be drawn to what feels pleasurable. Sometimes the sensation of pleasure may be barely perceptible or quite unexpected. Simply allow yourself to follow even the tiniest of impulses without judgment if you can, and see where it leads you. Allow your breath to keep flowing naturally in and out. Really slow your movement down. How slow can you make it and not become completely still? Slowing it down gives you time to really savour the sensations you experience while touching the object. See how many aspects of the object you can explore. Its contours, its textures, ridges, hollows, its weight, its temperature, and all the time allowing your breath to keep flowing. See how many parts of your hand you can explore with the object. What's it like to feel it with your wrist, the back of your hands, your fingernails, your knuckles? Notice how it feels differently in the folds of skin compared to the bonier parts of your hand. Take as much time as you need to get to know as much of the object with as much of your hand as possible. And let the breath keep flowing in and out naturally. Follow the pleasure. Find what feels pleasurable and stay there until it doesn't feel pleasurable anymore. And then find something else pleasurable. Try to suspend your mental judgment, what you should be feeling, and actually aim for the pleasure, however unexpected or surprising that may turn out to be. What do you notice? Take your time. Notice each impulse you feel. Give it a second look. Decide if it's an authentic feeling or influenced by a story or pattern in your mind. And then if it feels genuine, follow the impulse. If you find your mind beginning to chatter or drift, that's okay. As with any mindfulness practice, simply notice it without judgment and allow your focus to return to the sensation you're experiencing in your hands. How much more pleasure can you discover in your hands, in this object? Are there any aspects you haven't explored enough, or at all? Keep the movement slow. Perhaps even experiment with some stillness, exploring different pressures or different angles of the object. Allow yourself to breathe fully and comfortably. When you feel you've explored all the pleasure you want to with this object, gradually bring the movement to a still point, letting the object rest lightly in your hands, and take 3 deep breaths in, letting each one fall out with a sigh. Allow your eyes to open softly and gradually become aware of the room around you, the light, the sounds, temperature. Bring yourself fully present in the space again. It's good to repeat the exercise again, this time with the other hand, and using a different object, so that you're exploring new sensations. What do you notice this time? Once you get more practiced at noticing and following the pleasure, it's also great to experiment with doing the meditation with your eyes open. How does it feel different to see the object while you experience it with your hand? Try moving between eyes open and eyes closed, and see what you notice. The key things to remember are to keep the movement slow, to keep the breath flowing, and to follow what feels pleasurable, wherever it leads.